Spark a conversation, verbal elation, stimulation, education. This is Menage with the MariJayneMaven. When we on the air, it's always a lituation. Might talk about some litigation, might talk about some immigration, might talk about some politics, but never talking nonsense. Yes, we on in the slide. Watch and listen, it's a vibe. Watch it while you getting high, or you can listen while you drive. Just don't forget to subscribe.
Roll up. Trying to get high.
Welcome to Menage with the MariJayneMaven podcast with your host, the MariJayneMaven. I am the producer, the hubby. Follow us on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Show us some love and click that subscribe button now. Don't forget to click the bell so you get notifications and click the like button on the videos.
And now, your host.
I'm an Aries, so when you hit this other side, it's not good for anybody.
They're fire.
But thank you to MariJayne for keeping me sane in those couple of moments, no matter how trivial they are. So, ladies,
Yes.
Amen.
You had a moment as a great moment, something that just elevated, or something where you're like, ooh, woosah, if I don't get to this plant ASAP, it's going to be problems.
I think Cintia and I have these quite often because, we love our industry. We love all you guys, but there's a lot of new entrepreneurs in this industry. And, I don't even know how to say it. I'm like, you just make the Calendly, it's just, there's so many things. The Zoom, it's a button and the camera comes on. And yes, I understand it's hard. There's technical difficulties, but we're in month 900 of COVID. How have you survived without knowing how to use Zoom at this point? Because it's not, okay, hey, look, my computer, I'm having an issue, the camera's out. I get, okay, yeah. But, hey, do you guys know how to turn on this camera? Yes, we do, but we're not going to tell you until we smoke, because MariJayne keeps us sane.
Right. It's 4 buttons, people. I mean, like you said, we're in month 900. Zoom's worked out all the kinks thus far.
The biggest thing that I keep telling myself as I'm smoking is, you know what? Common sense isn't common.
Woo!
Common sense isn't common, and yeah.
Hallelujah to that.
And sometimes you have to acknowledge it, and I have to be like, it's all right. It's not you, it's me, apparently.
And as I've been in the cannabis industry, we know that entrepreneurs aren't just a certain age. We understand that there's a younger generation that, they are bomb cultivators, or, they're coming up with a new, resin press or rosin press or something. They're doing something fantastic. But yet, they have never read a book on their own.
Yes.
Grandma identified what they're passionate about and gave them their college money, and then they just went and started some things. There's a lot to be said. This is still an industry. There's still a business aspect to it. Hence why women are very much needed to create this industry, to keep it successful, and to keep it where it's not about the green rush.
To nourish it.
For real. That's kind of another one that we usually puff after, is everybody wants to be the first. We're the first of this, the first of that. And we're like, why not be the best? I don't want to be the first. I don't care. If I'm the first, great. If I'm not, you want to be the best at it. So get rid of all this. The first, we've been smoking this for 5,000 years or whatever. You're not the first. Jesus was the first.
Our ancestors were smoking and building pyramids, So I think your little idea about a new freaking dab rig, it's great, but
you're not the first.
it's enough for us to eat. There's enough for everybody to eat. This plant is
Amen.
the oldest plant. It's
Yes, it is.
not going out of style. It's not
It is.
endangered.
And I feel like what people also forget is, as industries, they think they're competing against other brands and things like that. And it's like, wait a minute, but who are your consumers? Like, where are they
Yes.
coming from? Do you even know what do they know? Do they even know you are here? So let's all work first on getting the consumers educated. And then, yes, like it's a funnel.
For real.
Obama will sit down, during an interview and just go ahead and roll up, and be like, "Oof, this saved me during my 8 years."
I wish.
Our parents, they are ones that are going, "Did you try that new strain?" Instead of going, "Oh, I didn't get to the pharmacy to pick up my, prescriptions, my 17 prescriptions." It's
Or even my beer, my wine, even alcohol, something that is, something at that level, because everybody finds it so normal, so natural, but at the same time, they have so many parallels to the cannabis industry themselves, just how it's being nourished and how it's being cultivated and made. It's like, you're going to see craft things, and it's a normal thing that's going to happen. So why not?
Yeah. So, the timekeeper, the producer over here, I promised him, I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to keep them long," but great conversation, with some really good flower and great conversation, and we're educating, which I know we all are super passionate about. So, ladies, go ahead and share your journey and kind of your vision and your mission, and then let's go ahead and talk about advocating for cannabis at a local and state level, because you are in a state where I don't know much. I'm learning, and the more that I meet entrepreneurs there, and you guys have you have a little bit of a uphill battle, but as we kind of discussed before, you also have a hand up, or you have the upper hand, because you're getting to see how other states fail and how how their successes go, and then that makes it easier for you guys to to build your own community and culture. So tell us about it. You guys got together, you were friends, and you were like, "All right, so this is what we want to do."
Yeah, for sure. I think advocating is a big part of what we do. We're really lucky that we have a very strong NORML chapter here, Texas NORML, headed by Jax Finkel, who is just an incredible human and very intelligent, amazing lady. So we do a lot of things with them. They pave the way for the advocacy in the state. And I think the message that they always preach that resonates with us is that, this isn't a fight. This isn't about fighting. This is about getting our message heard. And in many cases, presenting it in the right way. And some people are like, well, that's selling out, and it's like, no, this is having a conversation with someone who is so different in mindset from us that they think we're insane. Like, this is someone that has never seen, like us watching rugby and being like, what the hell is happening in this football game? Like, that's essentially what it is. So we have to take this very basic, very human approach with them and be patient. Texas NORML, this is where NORML National Group was founded in Austin, Texas in the 70s. Here they've been active.
Oh, wow.
How long? Yeah. Like, so this is insane amount of time if you looked at it from their perspective, but looking at it from our perspective, it's like things are going really quickly here. So I think just kind of propping up the ones, like, give praise and shout out to the ones that have been advocating in your area for a long period of time, because there's people they have, and sometimes they're a little like worn out right now, and they are angry, as they should be, because they've been pushing for this since the 70s. So we're not there to fight or argue with that approach either. We're just there to lift them up and let's get this over the finish line. And it starts at the local level. Like, we're looking right now, Congress and Senate and all that's great at a federal level, but the truth is all of that happens in your neighborhood, at your city council, inside of your district, and then your state legislature, and then just up from there. So as many of those people as you can get to know, it's just so important to the mission going forward.
The movement. I love how you said that. So, starting off, a lot of people would say, well, why are they worried about medical? Let's just go ahead. It's my right to go ahead and smoke. Why that? And I think it was very, it was very structured, but it was good to go through the medicinal side first. Then let's go ahead and start working on the equity, and let's start working on the criminal.
Especially if the fundamental, if the fundamental mission for everyone who is advocating for the plant is wellness for not just, ourselves, but wellness for the earth, because of how much it's going to fix it and help out, it's like we're advocating for wellness ultimately. So if we don't step back and, take that stance as well, you kind of forget and you dive into something else. So people need to remember, like, hey, why are you here? Why are you advocating, and how is it going to help?
And never give up on it. Like, this is going to be something, we're going to normalize it. And guys, I'm not like trying to ignore, but I'm having to just share this great conversation. So I'm just kind of sharing, because you guys are definitely dropping knowledge. And if you are outside of California, where I think we're kind of spoiled and we're like, we know it all, we're good. I mean, I used to drive around in college with my tray, which I still have from college here, in the back window of my car, and with weed on it and shit. And I'd be like, it's my car. They better not say something. Like, come on. Yeah, obviously a little bit of different time. I would hope nobody would do that now, especially with, the way that our law enforcement is, and you give them any reason. You sneeze at them, they have a trigger finger, but that's a whole nother episode. But so I think that what you ladies are doing, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys are pretty much the only, one of a few businesses like yours in your area, correct? Is it within the whole state, or?
Yeah, for sure. So there are a lot of tour companies that do hemp tours. I think what makes us different is that we both assist those companies in developing their curriculum, and then we also have our verified program where we verify the retailers and brands that are really doing things right, so that they can be on these tours that are even outside of our tours, because it basically gives them both a label for the consumer to know that they're the bar setter in the local industry, and then also tour companies to know that this is an exciting place to go to, and you don't have to worry because you know that they have insurance. They're doing all their processes right. They have a compassion for the community. So, but yeah, there's a lot of amazing hemp tours out there across the country as well that are doing an amazing job educating. I think what's really interesting about cannabis tourism is this is the initial place. Like 20% of our participants, it's their first time interacting with cannabis. So this is one of the first stops where people find cannabis is in a tourism environment. California has some amazing tours out there too. So it's really exciting, to get to have this hands-on experience and get to guide people on this journey. So we're really blessed to get to do it here in Texas.
So tell me about an obstacle, in the beginning where you guys kind of looked at each other like, whew, let's smoke and forget this. Like, maybe not.
Oh man.
How about actually doing tours in 2020?
Oh, yeah, that would be tough. That'd be tough. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't very, very long into it. We were, a couple of years into it until we were finally getting our groove. And, it's one, being in the cannabis industry too, we don't sell any products, and yet still we face the same, as an ancillary business, face the same, hardships. Like, we couldn't advertise a lot, and so we had trouble with our point of sales, and it was ridiculous. And so having to have those same struggles and really point it out kind of made us pivot. And then of course COVID comes in. It just kind of made us pivot into a place where, okay, who is helping out all of these brands that are going through this in this time? And luckily we had been working with a lot of great partners that continued our mission and understood what we were there for. So that's kind of how we end up monetizing on our end, you know, through the partnership form.
Yeah.
Because we want everything for the consumers, or most everything, to be very cheap or free. You know, that's how you get people to adopt. It's, you know, spread the knowledge, share the wealth. It's not, you know, let me pay you, let me pay me for knowledge. It's like, no. We want you to know what this is about. And through experiences and fun ways and setting them up with reliable, verifiable brands is so key. Because like Leah said, 20% of the time, this is their first time. So imagine if they go to a place where people don't, you know, the product is bad, they don't know anything, they can't really talk to you, and that's your first experience.